So I think I alerted to begin with this morning. I said, not too sure where price wants to go, looking for a sweep and then a push higher. Let's see what 930 does. So this is what I was looking at prior to everything. I'll delete all this stuff, make it seem like none of this was here. So, of course, I always start at the daily. Obviously, this wasn't here. So I was either looking for two things. Like I posted at the beginning of the week that I wasn't interested in price until we took out ideally these lows. But ES did that, right? So we already framed the narrative that now NQ does not have to go below here because of the SMT. So we're trading away from swing lows, and if you look at the weekly time frame, we institutional order flow entry drilled. All that means is just like a very shallow run into the fair value gap, the weekly fair value gap, and then we went up. So to me, that's validating that this is the low of the week. And see um what day of the week it occurred on, Wednesday. So that's what ICT you can classify as a midweek reversal. Monday doesn't really do anything. Tuesday, bearish day, still kind of just stuck in the range, and then Wednesday puts in the low of the week. And we are either going to get a continuation tomorrow or nothing. We'll just have a consolidation most likely since all-time highs hit. But now we have the narrative framed, right? So now I'm expecting these lows to stay intact because of SMT. So we can get rid of this. So that's why I was looking for longs today. Well, not the only reason. We'll get into the lower time frame reason. 4 hour. None of this was here. So this was yesterday's candle. See what time the low forms? 10 a.m. 4 hour candle, right? What do we always talk about? Valid swing points to trade away from. Well, if this candle's not here, this is the only swing low before these, but we know these are now protected because of SMT. So we're not expecting the reversal to come from here. We're expecting the reversal to come from this swing low, and also what do we have? The new week opening gap, right? So price is sitting inside of these levels. Key time gets put in. We can break that down even lower. 11 a.m., right? Happens. And Wednesday, you can see, doesn't really do anything. So now we understand where price is and where it's most likely to go. We're expecting continuation from this area. What do I look for? Well, going into the new day, what does price do? Expands, leaves a 4 hour fair value gap. That's our area of interest. And we also have this inversion here with all-time high above acting as our draw. Break that down lower. Here's an hourly. We have a swing low paired with the hourly fair value gap. So technically two swing lows. If you go on a low enough time frame, this swing low is, or this low here of the fair value gap is a swing low. So now you could see these as two possible areas of interest. We also have midnight opening price down here. And what did I also notice this morning? This is 23, right? Asia low. Look at YM. YM took its 23 low today. And so actually, right when market opened, I was actually looking at YM to go long, but it never pulled back. I was looking at the 1 minute. And you can see here, right at 9:30, we play price. Here's 9:30. See, small little Judas, and then just straight ripped. So there's no chance that I was getting an entry. So that's why then I flipped my bias to Nasdaq. And this also gave me confirmation that all these lows should now be protected. So YM's low day should be put in, and now I'm also expecting Nasdaq's low here. People would see these hourly equal lows with midnight price and be like, oh yeah, that's where price is going. No, you have to understand that these are most likely not going to get taken. Why? Because we already framed everything prior, right? We have this potential midweek reversal. We have SMT at these lows. Now we have a 4 hour fair value gap here with a potential draw to all-time high above. Inversing bearish PD raise. All of these things is going through my mind when I'm looking at the chart. So that's how I'm able to frame a confident trade. So obviously this is London, and then this occurs. So we had news at 8:30. Not really high impact, right? Wasn't like CPI, PPI, whatever, but it is news. So 8:30 is an important key time because it's high impact news. So if 8:30 is putting in, or if the reversal or the low of the day is already put in, 8:30 should expand, and ideally 9:30 does the same thing. Doesn't always have to, but you can see 8:30 goes up, but on the 30-minute, not a lot of displacement. I would not treat this as an order block, especially since this here, you see how this internal high gets taken, and price comes immediately back into the range. I would not. That's not what you want to see. The reaction at the highs will tell you a lot about what's going to happen. So again, two kind of just clean lows here, and there's no SMT between these lows. So I'm expecting this. This is what I was talking about this morning. This sweep inside of what this 4-hour fair value gap. Because if you look at the 4-hour, it wasn't hit yet, right? This wick wasn't there. We go back to the hourly. What do we expect 9:30 to do? Well, either continue or have a Judas swing, right? One of the two is going to do. It's going to do the same thing almost every day, most likely. And if it doesn't, the day is going to be either terrible or you're just wrong. So today I was just waiting for 9:30 because there's no reason not to. And like I said, I was expecting these lows to get ran out. That's what I wanted to see happen. Wait for my next key time, 9:30. There it is. And this is where I was interested in longs on the lower time frame. And again, why would I trust this low? After all this displacement lower, and then we had the 9:30 sweep out a high, and then go lower. Why am I expecting this area to hold? Well, we have a bunch of relative equal lows. It's easy to see on the 1 minute, and we're sitting inside that 4-hour fair value gap. That's what that gray box is. If we pull up, oh, this is YM. I don't need YM. I need ES. We look at ES. I was actually going to long ES instead because it was stronger, but I just wanted to continue to wait because it wasn't really picking up any speed yet. Here's 9:30. Here's 9:30. You see the difference? SMT, right? So now I'm already expecting this area to put in a potential reversal. Now we have SMT shortly after 9:30 open. Now all I need is some sort of bearish PD array or candle closures to get inversed or get closed above. So that's why I said I was actually going to take the inversion today because I was so confident in this trade working. Everything that I was looking for aligned, and I had a draw. I have this short-term high, and then I have all-time high. And if you look on the hourly, you also have relative equal lows or relative equal highs above here as well. Here, stacked highs, failure swings. That's what you want when you're targeting liquidity. So this is actually where I went to go grab water, unfortunately. Literally right here. I didn't even see this first candle. I was like, oh, I'm gonna wait. It's most likely gonna just chop around for a little bit more and then go higher. Potentially, waiting for that 950 macro or not. I don't wait for those if anybody's even wondering, but I was just waiting, and then I came back to this on my screen, these three massive candles, and also I came back to ES. This would be that 1 minute order block, and even if you don't want to use the 1 minute, like I normally don't like to, it was very clean on the 3 minute. Which this is the best trade that I missed. Down close candle, SMT at the lows, closes above here. You can buy that, stop at the low, and you can see what happens. Right, this is very easy. If you enter there, stop at the low, take profit at 2R. There's your 2R trade. But the trade that I took on NASDAQ was this. And I was actually anticipating, I was potentially expecting price to come back down into this series of 1 minute down close candles or an order block. And that we also had this fair value gap here that I was expecting to maybe get retested. But I saw that this could be a lower time frame breaker. And also this is the 930 high. So it didn't need to come down, but I'm not one to take these kind of trades like this because your stop loss would ideally have to be like down here. And to me, this, I'm not taking that. Even though we do have this higher draw, but I'm good. So that's why I waited for a continuation entry. I don't really love entering like this. Price continued up. I alerted that I was trying to get long at 109. That's just the high of this down close candle. Never came back. Let it go, right? So this is just the short-term draw. I understand that Wednesday put in a potential midweek reversal, and that we wait for the logical area to get hit, and then we wait. We don't just enter just because. We wait because this is the logical area to see if price is going to retrace or consolidate. So, new 4-hour candle opens, 10 a.m. So, what was I looking at? 15-minute. We got the 15-minute change in the state of delivery here. And I didn't even take this right away either. I waited for that 30-minute close, and then I entered. And the one thing that I do want to point out is I could have nitpicked this entry and got a little bit of a tighter risk to reward, because all price did was come back to the EQ of this range. But ideally it wouldn't even have came down this low. But we are all-time high trading, so it's a little different. But you guys can see all price did was stab below EQ and then go higher. So that's why I have my stop loss at this low here, or the candle body. Plenty of room for price to go if it needs to dip lower. But that's literally all it did. And there's a 15-minute fair value gap here, and you guys can see after that price expanded. And that was also the new 4-hour candle. And you guys can see small lower wick on that 10 a.m. candle, and then large candle body. That's what we want. And you can break that down even lower. So say you did wait for the retracement, and you get this here. Here's EQ of that range. Here's that 3-minute order block that I was looking at earlier this morning. Hits that opening price of the penny, goes higher. Say you don't buy that, but now you're getting support from this area. Same thing, you have this little 3-minute fair value gap here as well. Now you get another series of down close candles that rebalanced an inefficiency that's using it off that was created off another order block. We close above, you can buy this here to refine your entry. Stop loss of the candle body, you don't want to see deep retracements. TP at all-time high, almost a 3-hour trade, 2.5 hour. So that's how you could break it down lower or lower. But even again, stress-free or even less stressful trading. That's why I just bought the order block, because this is a perfect textbook long that I'm looking for. 4-hour fair value gap, internal liquidity swept, at a key time, right? 9:30, open low. How do you want a bullish candle to form? Open low, close above the opening price here, and price has a continuation phase and goes higher. All framed off of Wednesday putting in that potential low of the week with the SMD between the daily sell side pools, which was framed from right here. Any questions? All the bad PA we've had past week or two today was beautiful. Absolutely. And that's why I have to wait. That's why you have to just, it's either you either take shitty trades and lose, or you take no trades because your system's not there. And then you take, instead of whenever good price action comes back, you're not clawing out a drawdown. The profits are just stacking to your account. So that's what I try and push. And that's what I try and do myself.